So I probably tried almost everything that's legal. Consent as a common practice is the most important thing.
There's something so liberating about seeing everyone naked or half naked in a space.
Just show yourself truly as you are. I have never felt so safe in any other club than in a kinky club. The more power you have, the more responsibility you have.
It's about like the perfect match of the dick.
Exactly.
This is Create What Matters.
Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Create What Matters. I am your co-host Leti.
And as always, I'm here, and my name is Ali.
And today we are exploring the kinky scene, the BDSM scene, and we're going to talk a little bit about different relationship dynamics. So I think that this is an episode for you to keep an open mind and for you to not judge before listening. I am a explorer myself of the scene. Ali is also she explored, but in a different way, I would say, maybe more like the relationship dynamics. And we are here to maybe debunk some myths, maybe raise a few other questions, but we're definitely here to talk about consent, trust, and different types of relationships. Because I think that it's all about modernizing, it's all about understanding where this is going and keeping an open mind, right?
That's right. Today we want to talk about self-expression, trust, and inclusivity, and how that plays out in the world of kink that is often put in mystery. So today we want to uncover those layers and have an honest conversation with our amazing guest today. Should we introduce her?
Of course, of course. So here we have Myriel with us. She is from Germany, and she has been the manager of Elysium Club in Barcelona. And she discovered her passion for the kinky scene, and I'm going to let her introduce you to all, when she was 18. And let's not just say it's been a while. I would say that you have been exploring. I would say that people that have more than 5 years of experience have a lot of experience. I don't even have more than 1 year of experience in this area. So please, now that you're here in Barcelona, now that you're creating amazing events here in Barcelona, Myriel, tell us your story and tell us what you're doing here today. And welcome. And thank you for coming.
I was raised in a environment that was quite liberal. Like my father's a stay-at-home dad. My mother is gaining the money. So it was already like more of a liberal kind of environment. So I never felt like something was wrong with me or anything. I just did whatever the fuck I wanted. So I started modeling at 18. And I started doing latex modeling at 19, more or less. And then very quickly, I only modeled for latex brands.
What is latex modeling?
Latex is a kind of garment, a material that is often used in a kinky or fetish scene. There's a lot of people who have like kinks for that or a fetish for latex.
Yeah.
So there's a quite big market. So I started being on the runway on Dominatrix Amsterdam, which is one of the biggest fetish events, German fetish ball, and so on. And I started going on kinky parties, I think at 19, 20 something. And I loved the safe space they create. Like I have never felt so safe in any other club than in a kinky club. And this was a great experience for me. That's how it started, more or less.
And also, like, I think that when we talk not about this, just the modeling and discovering this space, there's a part of a self-discovery. When did you discover yourself, and how would you define a kinkster? Because I don't think when I say the word kinky, for example, a lot of people don't understand what that means. Everyone maybe relates that to being a pervert, as you said, or being someone that has a problem, but
or a trauma.
Or a trauma, yeah. But like, how would you define a kinkster?
I would definitely say there are some people whose kinks are evolving from trauma. I would not totally exclude that. That's very true. But in a healthy way, a kink is just something out of the norm that sexually turns you on out of the norm. Like we say in the scene, we say vanilla.
Yeah.
And vanilla is for us like the term for normative, normal sex.
Yeah.
So a kink is more something that is out of that line, kind of.
And it can be anything from role playing to impact play to power play. There are many ways in which you can discover that, but also there are specific fetish, as you said, like I don't know, latex turns me on, for example.
Yeah,
It's something
exactly.
that can be very specific even to
Yeah.
people. Can you give us examples of common ways of that people usually relate to that, and common kinks that we have that we don't even maybe realize are kinks?
I don't know if you can actually not realize a kink,
Okay.
honestly, because like as soon as something gets out of the norm, you're getting quite at the beginning a bit uncomfortable telling your partner. And at the point where you're getting a bit uncomfortable telling your partner, you're definitely not on the vanilla side anymore.
So do you think it's really easy to identify these out of norm standard or way of expressing yourself? Or do you think
Maybe for me it was.
Yeah.
I was really soon really sure what I liked. And I'm also a person that is not like, I don't close myself from trying stuff. Like, I don't have the perception of something being, okay, that is too pervert. I'm not trying that. I will not like that. If I didn't try it, I don't know
How
if I
would you
liked
know?
it.
Yeah.
So I probably tried almost everything that's legal. Just to find out that some things are not my thing and some things are definitely my thing.
Exactly.
And a question there, what I know you're creating this safe space
Yeah.
yourself, and we want to hear more about that. But I would like to ask you why. What is the core purpose of this space? Is it empowerment? Is it education? Is it liberation? A blend of those, or how would you describe that core purpose of this space and what you're creating in the world right now?
I wouldn't make it so fucking deep because honestly, I'm a full-blown hedonist and I just love to enjoy life. I enjoy sex so much. I love to fuck. Sorry if you have to cut that.
No, it's okay. I usually say that if vanilla is good, like what are the other flavors that I would like to explore as well?
Yes. So I wanted to create a safe space where you can be absolutely free to whatever the fuck you want to do. Like, you want to drink, you want to dance, you want to enjoy, you want to have connection, you want to do something crazy, you want to do something new, just explore yourself, just get undressed, put on something that you would never wear on the street, something that you would always wanted to try.
Yeah.
I always have a new outfit for every party
Wow.
because
Me
I
too.
always want something. I want to try something new. And it should be a space for that, for liberating, for pure hedonism.
Yeah.
Yeah, and expression as well. You know?
It's self-expression, yes. Just show yourself truly as you are.
And we were talking about this before the podcast started, which is there's something really liberating. And I think I found that when I first went to a party, which is there's something so liberating about seeing everyone naked or half naked in a space, but at the same time feeling so safe about it.
Yes.
I wanted you to come back to the point that you said that when you went to the first party, you never felt safer. Because coming from a Brazilian setting and coming from a space where I have been touched so many times in my
Same.
life without people asking permission in parties, I have been kissed so many times. During New Year's this year, I was kissed by a man
Yes.
in a
Without
party
consent.
without consent.
Yeah.
And he just like, we spoke for 30 minutes. I told him I was Brazilian. I was in a normal setting party. It was nothing, even if it were crazy. Like, he just thought that he could just kiss me without asking for it. And I think that I've never experienced people asking me more, are you okay?
Yes.
Can I do this? And do you want this in a space where in kinky parties? So I want you to like also listen to your perspective on it, especially as a 19-year-old woman experiencing that for the first time. Like, how was that? And what is consent in this space?
Like, I think the core principle of everything connected to sexual liberation is consent, because your freedom ends where the freedom of the other person starts. So you have to be 100% on the lookout. What is the right thing to do right now? What does the other person want? Because those spaces live from being safe. So if you are just some rando who just thinks he can fuck there really quickly, that's really not the place to go.
No.
And I have a zero tolerance for this, and I'm
Yeah.
kicking out those people right away.
Yeah.
Um,
There's
because-
a ban list as well for a lot of people. in this
yes,
party.
of course. Like you know who are the people, and you also exchange between organizers.
Yeah.
Because that's not the kind of people you want to have at your parties,
Yeah.
because they disrupt the space. They disrupt the people during their activities. People feel uncomfortable. They stop doing what they did. They don't feel liberated anymore.
Let's talk about the main rules. Like, so what are the main rules? Consent first. So first you have to ask for permission for everything, which people don't even know that they don't do that in vanilla, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
You have to ask permission to kiss someone.
Exactly. You have to know.
yeah.
Also, you have to ask permission for everything.
To
You have
touch
to
someone.
ask, "Can I touch you here?"
Yeah.
And then you can touch.
Yeah.
You don't touch
Mhm.
anyone without consent. You don't, even if you want to speak to someone, "Hey, I just saw you and I thought you were an interesting person. Would you like to talk?" Like, just casually. You
Yeah.
don't have to be like, "Do you want yes or no?" Just like being casual about it.
Yeah.
Making it a common practice. I think making it a common practice,
Yeah.
consent as a common practice, is the most important thing. And also, like, I don't only think in the kink world. I think
No.
this should also spread to everyone. I've been to fucking Ready Cope Bus a few weeks ago. I will never go there again.
Where?
Plaza Real.
Ah.
Just going into, because we were at an after party and then we went out, and I think I got touched 3 times on my butt and I was kissed 1 time without consent. And this is just experiences that you don't want to have.
Yeah.
Is it true that in these parties and in this space, there is a dynamic in which, I don't know if this is accurate or not, you can recognize people with some sort of like a bracelet.
Yes.
So you can start learning this behavior that you're talking about and saying, hey, maybe in these I have a green light, in this one I can have a different behavior, and with this one I have another different behavior. Do you have that in those parties? So it's easier for a beginner like me, for example, to recognize and
Yeah.
understand how to build this?
100%. So we have 2 different bracelets. I would never give out a green bracelet because I think green, just like,
too
the
vanilla.
fuck, man. You just doing everything and you're hooking up with everyone. That's not really like, that's not really the vibe.
Got it.
So I have yellow and red. Yellow means I may be open to play,
Okay.
and red means I don't want to play. I just want to enjoy the party. I just want to have a few drinks. And also, if you want to change during the night, just go to the angels at the door. Ask them. They give you another bracelet. That's really no problem.
And
But the
can you
red-
explain play? Because I think that a lot of people don't understand that these
Oh,
parties have a
okay.
play space. What is a play space, and what are the different spaces that you can have in parties? And also, there are different types of parties, right?
Yeah, 100%. So my space, the Elysium Club, is quite small. We have a cocktail bar, and then we have a bit of a dance floor type thing, and then we have like 3 small playrooms.
Mm-hmm.
And playroom means that you have different stuff. Like, for example, St. Andrew's Cross, where you can put
Tie
someone on,
people.
or a swing, a sex swing for fucking, a massage table, stuff like this. Like, you have different options that you can like explore. Also, I always put toys on those parties, like mostly more on the BDSM party. But in general, I like to
Not
put toys.
Dildos necessarily?
No,
Because
not
those
the-
are not shareable. I think
Well-
that when we say toys, people think of dildos. It's
okay. So
yeah.
more like Vips and stuff. And
Yeah,
there's
something
always
like this.
disinfectant.
Yes,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Stuff like this, or cuffs, handcuffs and stuff.
Yeah.
And they lay there and you can borrow them. We have disinfectant there. You should always disinfect
Yeah.
something after playing, of course. Playing means engaging.
Yeah.
Playing
Interacting.
interacting in whatever
way you
way.
feel like. It's so interesting how you mention these 2 elements of liberation and consent, and those 2 concepts coexisting there. I think that's very interesting how those 2 things maybe that are contradictory can be true, and that they can interact at the same time if there's somebody that is really thinking of how to bring this space for people, and then the right people are coming to to contribute to that energy
Yeah.
and that space. And going into kinks, into kink behavior, I'm curious about to know, does everybody have kinks according to you? Or are we suppressing perhaps behavior or liberation or desire to express ourselves based on societal programmation and norms, taboos, and things that we have been taught, this is good, this is bad, you should do this or that, you should express in this way or not? Does everybody have kinks, and or is it more of a few people that just have these desire to express themselves more?
I would say that not everyone has kinks, and that is totally fine too. If you're a vanilla, you're a vanilla, and that's totally fine. I mean, some people don't need a kink or don't have a kink. But what I definitely think is that a lot of people suppress kinks due to upbringing, due to societal norms. This is just something that is restricting you in some way from the beginning. Like if your parents always said, only men and women can be together, you will have kind of problems to come out of the closet if you're gay, for example.
Yeah. And
the same is with kinks. So I don't say being gay is a kink. I just say, like, as an example,
it's a type of
if, like,
repression.
your parents always told you have sex after marriage.
Yeah.
Of course, you will think that everything sex related is kind of bad.
Yeah, you're repressed in a way, regardless
Exactly.
if it's a sexual orientation, a kink, or an interest, or even gender orientation. Sometimes it can be
100%.
a little bit into that world, or like types of relationships and dynamics.
Yeah.
Before we get into types of relationships and dynamics, because I want to get into that point, and I think it's important for us to separate different relationship dynamics and kinks, which are very different things. What are your kinks? Tell us. Let's all like go around the table. I think that this is
wow. Okay, I have to take a sip of wine before that.
Come on! Don't tell me that you have a problem sharing your kinks after all these years of living them.
I have to say, I still have some kinks that I like feel not very comfortable talking about.
That's okay then. You don't have to.
Which even with partners, sometimes it takes some time.
Okay.
I don't know why, honestly, because I'm such an open person. I'm talking about everything.
Yeah.
But sometimes, like, some things are very intimate. But yeah, in general, what are my kinks? To pin this down, I have to say at the moment I play more on the dominant side.
Okay.
I experience both, but I'm finding a partner to being dominated by takes a lot for me.
Yeah.
Like, I need to have someone that I feel truly, like, that I can truly trust. And haven't had a decent relationship, and I don't know.
Okay.
So for me, submitting myself to someone means also that I have to trust the person 100%.
It's really interesting how, that it seems that this relationship or this dynamic with the kinky world, or the dynamic inside the bedroom, let's say, or inside the playroom, is it built on the outside, or is that an accurate assumption? Even if you're
trust
not
with someone inside the bedroom, built outside of the bedroom as well.
Of course, man. That is like the ultimate thing.
Yeah.
Like, I could only submit to a person that I have been in a trusting relationship for quite a time. I don't mean relationship like a monogamous relationship in that way, but relationship of any kind of type. But I have to know the person really well to understand really well. Do they understand BDSM? Do they understand what it means to be a dominant person? Because when I was younger, like at 19, I had doms, we say doms for the dominant part, male dominant part, that were double the age of me, and that didn't know shit.
Yeah.
They didn't know that you have to read body language, that you have to ask consent, that you have to interact with the person to know what they want. These are like core principles. These are fucking basics.
Yeah.
And they didn't know that. And you can do real damage with that.
Yeah.
sure.
Both physical damage and also trauma, create a lot of trauma. So I think that let's break down the BDSM. So we have bondage
and dominance, devotion and submission, sadism and masochism.
Yeah. I love it that you use it in German. So let's talk about the difference between.
Did I say it in German?
A little bit.
Oops.
Do we have
Sorry.
let's talk about the difference about dominance and submission. I think
Yeah.
that this is something that we see a lot of fake doms.
Yes.
I think that's the
So
most
much.
the most common thing.
What is a fake dom?
What is a fake dom?
What is a dom, if I may?
So a dominant person is the person that takes in a DS relationship, so in a dominant submission relationship, the dominant part. Dominant part doesn't mean you do whatever the fuck you like.
Nope.
Dominant part, in most times, it just means that you cater to the needs of your submissive part. So you talk in advance very like accurately about what the other person wants and needs, because in the end, as a dom, you cannot do anything that the other one has boundaries with.
Yeah.
So you have to check boundaries really clearly at the beginning of every DS relationship.
Yeah.
And
An agreement.
yes,
Yes.
kind of. And then a fake dom, I would say, is more someone that is not really feeling it. Like dominance means also a lot of compassion, a lot of like, you can put yourself in the shoes of someone else. You can read body language. You can see what is going on in a person. Is it still okay? Or is she or he or they, are they just pushing their boundaries?
Yeah.
Because they think they have to please me in that way.
Yeah.
What is the metric in that sense? Is there a metric? Is it the sense of pleasure we're both getting from this?
I think it's if it's the person that's being submitted enjoys it or not. It's basically the person. I think that
Then it's pleasure.
biggest misconception into dominance and submission is that the dominant person is dominating. And actually,
100%. Yeah.
the person that has the power, it's the person that's giving away the power. Because the more you give power away, the more that person trusts you, right? So I think that is a huge misconception. And this is why I say fake doms, because it's people that just like rough sex,
Yeah.
which is very different than actually having a power dynamic or power play.
Exactly.
So I think that power plays is more about the mental things that you do sometimes even than just the physical things that you do. So it's
100%.
So-
Like the mental part is a very big part in BDSM. And I think what is the core principle of every power dynamic? If you get power,
yeah.
it's responsibility. The more power you
Yeah.
have, the more responsibility you have. I'm now the boss of my club. Like, never had so much power, but damn, oh my God, the responsibility is insane. Like,
Yeah.
I have to answer to the socios that give the money. I have to answer to the workers. I'm responsible for their well-being, but I'm also responsible for the clients. I'm responsible for fucking everything.
Have
And
the
that
weight of the world in your shoulders.
exactly.
Yeah.
If something is going wrong, it's my fault. No matter who did it, it's my fault.
Yeah.
So, and I think you can break that down to everything.
Yeah.
If you're a leader of a country, that is an immense responsibility. If you're a leader of a person in a DS relationship, that is an immense responsibility because you have to know the person, you have to feel the person, and you have to be 100% responsible at all times.
That's changing a lot of my personal conceptions around these worlds, as I've never fully interacted with it. And I think in that mix, I've also thought that, or mixed up in my mind, that the kinky world had to do with relationship dynamics. For example, I've explored polyamory one time in my life, and by coincidence, they were also exploring kinky. They had kinks, and they were specifically the person that I was dating was married, and with his wife he was going to kinky parties. I never actually experienced that, but in my mind, as a newbie, let's say, I mixed it up. So what would you say are those separations in terms of the kinky world and those and the relationship dynamics that we are seeing more and more today, where people are feeling more comfortable with expressing the relationship preferences, not only the monogamous traditional one, and what should be myths that we have to debunk when it comes to the space and the world, not only when it comes to relationships but with kinks. I often mix them up. So how would you clarify it?
I would say that BDSM not necessarily has to do something with a certain type of relationship. In the end, of course, if you are into the kinky scene, you are most probably also more open-minded. So you might also experience some open relationship kind of dynamic. But in the end, it's two different things. Like relationship types and BDSM are two different things. There's different types of relationship types. Like you said, open relationship, that means that you have a loving relationship to one person, a committed loving relationship to one person, but you're sexually exploring outside that relationship. Or polyamory, which seems for me the most like, I'm in awe of people that practice polyamory. That is amazing thing to do. I don't know, like, I hope I get to a place sometime that I also am that sure of myself that I can indulge in that. But in general, polyamory means that you are in love with several persons and you are in committed relationship with several persons, which sounds like,
At
for
the
me,
same time.
like a lot of fucking work.
Yes, it is.
So, because for me, relationship means communication,
Yeah.
trust, and you have to put a lot in a relationship. So, and what was the last one you
The
said?
myths, I think also.
But there's also another one. I think that's it's an open relationship, but there's also sometimes
Swingers.
Yeah.
Swingers are most time in a committed, loving relationship with one person, and they explore sex outside the relationship, but mostly as a couple.
Yeah.
So they go as a couple outside. And there's, for example, some swinger parejas, couples that where only the women interact,
Yeah.
or because the man is too jealous. I don't know. They have their rules. Every swinger couple has their rules, or they only engage in sexual activities if they find another couple, and so on. So swingers are more like we are exploring together.
Yeah.
Open relationships means exploring more on your own. And
But coming
polyamory
back to
means,
someone.
yeah, but coming back. But like for me also, sex and relation and love doesn't have anything to do with each other. Of course, sex when you are in love is much fucking better.
Yeah.
It's
a better cocktail.
amazing. If you're like into someone like that, if you love someone, sex can be fucking mind blowing.
Yeah.
But for me, it doesn't have necessarily something to do with that.
Yeah.
Like, I can be sexually attracted to a lot of people, but love for me is something that's much harder to get. Also, I need a lot of sex, like to chill me down, to release stress, and so on. And you don't always have a loving partner on your side that's just now there to please your needs. Or also, I mean, sex is really different with every person.
Yeah.
So different. Like,
Yeah.
I've had so much sex in my life, and every time it was so different from before.
Yeah.
Like, you cannot expect from your partner to give you everything.
We need to diversify, right? Because we put so much
Exactly.
weight
For
onto
me-
one person.
Exactly.
I need you to be my lover, my psychologist, my best friend, my
Exactly.
everything, and these needs are changing from both
Yeah.
sides. So
Yeah.
it's a bit idealistic and not realistic that we're going to fulfill each other's needs all of the time.
Exactly.
Emotional, sexual, all kinds of needs. So I
And-
think that needs to be something we start breaking, don't you think?
Yeah. And
I
also,
think so too. Also, it's putting a lot of pressure on one person.
For sure.
yeah.
And that is not healthy for a relationship.
Mm.
Like, putting a lot of expectations on one person is always a no-brainer in real life. It's always bad for a relationship.
And also, I think that as we separate some of these things, we understand that there are different sex drives.
Yes.
Some people have less need for sex, and some people have more need for sex.
Yeah.
So I think that sometimes you still want to have quality time with someone. You still want to come back home to someone,
Yes.
but you need to fuck more. And
Yes.
it's like, so you are going to be frustrated for the rest of your life because you don't have that need tended to. So I think that those are things that are very important. I've learned a lot to separate them as well. And I've learned how to explore outside of it. But I had to break my own barriers in it because, as you said, like upbringing, expectations in life and all of those things, it's kind of like chains us to this idea that that person should provide everything that you need. And I think also, like, the more I get into the kinky scene, as we were saying, like, I think that going back to the fake dom thing, I think some men getting to that scene, and that's the realization that I get. A lot of men getting to that scene think that they're gonna find a lot of people that wants to have a lot of sex, and yes, they're gonna find a lot of people that had very high sex drives, probably, but also it's not guaranteed or granted, or even like kinks and being in an open relationship, different things. You can be in a closed relationship and still explore kinks. And still do it with it.
Because not everyone is into everything.
No.
So in the end, you have a partner that you really love and you're really having the greatest connection. And you have this one fucking kink that is just not going out of your head. And he is totally not, or she is totally not digging that.
Yeah, exactly.
So what are you gonna do? You're gonna be like restrained for the rest of your life. I'm someone that is very about my freedom. My freedom is the most important part for me. So I'm not gonna restrain myself. If you're not into that, that's totally fine. I love you anyways. But I'm gonna do it with someone else. I'm sorry.
I need to try and you have to see if I like it or not.
And you have to trust me. And you have to trust me in this. So like open relationships, they need so much more trust, because a monogamous relationship, you have already this concept of monogamy, which is really like, it's been there for a few hundred years and your grandparents did it like that. And it's the right thing to do. And no sé qué. And if you, the right thing to do, whatever perception you might have. But in the end, if you are in an open relationship, you have to make your own rules with your partner. You and your partner have to sit together and make your own rules, because there is no concept that's there that you can use. You can't, because it has been here since a few years. So you have to make your own concept for this, which fits your partner and fits yourself.
Communication is even more practice in open relationships.
Much more, and it can deepen your relationship so much.
That's what I was gonna say.
Because you talk about everything.
I think it's a lot. It needs a lot of. It sounds like it needs a lot of these hard conversations, things that maybe in a traditional monogamous setting you're not able to have, not ready. You don't have the tools, or you're just scared, or not needed because you
don't need it. Like. You're like, okay, my partner is anyways jealous, so I will not tell him that I'm craving so much right now to get dicked down by this guy.
Yeah, but you were saying something that I guess you wouldn't expect, again, from a beginner's mindset, that this space, call it kinky, the kinky space, or these really new not new, but these new other different relationship dynamics, have this common thread of vulnerability, of good quality communication and trust, right? It's this is something that from the beginning I wouldn't expect, but I think we can learn a lot about these dynamics. Even if we decide to be monogamous, what I'm learning from this conversation is that we can learn from other dynamics, even if we decide to not participate.
Exactly.
Even if I go to the kinky party and I decide to have a drink, to have
and you have the bread bracelet on. You can also have the bread bracelet on, but just be like 100% still in your own thing. Because like what we have to learn in general is that everything is all right. And also having a monogamous relationship is completely great and fine if both are consensual on that. Like for me, I'm not, just because I'm like this doesn't mean other people have to be like this. So if you want to be monogamous and marry at 22, that's great, man. That's amazing if you found a partner that has the same needs.
Yeah. The question is, are you connected to your own needs? Are you being honest with yourself about it?
That's true. And 100%.
And do you have the tools to have these tough conversations as well with others, regardless of the relationship dynamics you have, or regardless of the kinks you have? No.
Yeah, 100%.
It's very interesting to see how this space can be an amazing growth and learning experience for whatever we decide to be.
Yeah.
That's a really nice way to put it. If I may ask, you don't have to say names or anything, but what has been your biggest lesson? You've talked a lot about trust, communication, vulnerability throughout this long period of your life, and now as an entrepreneur with many different talents put into this expression. If you had to choose the biggest lesson as a woman, what would be that lesson?
As a woman, especially. I told you how I grew up, like in a very liberal setting, and that we are still not there. That women are still not heard, not like that. I always have to be louder, that I have to be more strong, because I'm a leader with I'm a socio of we are 4 persons, the other 3 are men. If your workers come out of a traditional surrounding, if your socios come out of a traditional surrounding, you have to do much more to be respected as a woman. You have to be so fucking strong all the fucking time to be respected. And that's still, I hate this. I hate that it's still like this.
Exhausting.
Because my mother taught me, you're a woman, what the fuck? It doesn't make a difference. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
And I do whatever I want. I have been doing whatever I want forever. But we are still not there. And we still need emancipation. And we still need also men to support us in emancipation.
Absolutely.
And that's my biggest learning, honestly.
Yeah. It's
Especially as a leader.
Yeah.
Like,
can we talk a little bit about what you have been building then as a businesswoman? So tell us about the parties that you were creating and the space and the kinky scene that you have been helping, of course, and not just helping, leading in the community. You have one that's Elysium. Can you talk about that? But you also have another one that's women focused, which is Lilith, right? Yeah. Can you talk about the differences and what kind of parties they are in general?
So actually, Elysium is the name of my club.
Okay.
And my parties have different names.
Perfect.
So my signature party, which I love the most, is Hedonistica. Because as I said, I'm a full-blown hedonist. I just love indulging. So on Hedonistica, you get the cover of my favorite brand. You get, if you come before midnight, because I need people to be there.
Yeah.
So you get fresh fruit all the night. So you can always, I saw this like you can always like eat a little bit during your stay. You have a lot of different play opportunities. You have a great DJ. I have an amazing
Is it always
DJ.
techno?
No, actually, Hedonistica is more like ambience, electronic, a bit techno. It goes a bit harder to the end, but at the beginning, it's more like making a nice ambiente.
Okay.
And also last time we had some psychedelic because like people really were digging that. So and they danced like crazy. So
Love it.
the most important part as a leader is choosing the right people to work with you.
For sure.
And
I agree.
I have some amazing people that are helping me in creating the best atmosphere possible. And then I have Lilith. Lilith is a female-only play party.
Female only.
Yes. Exactly. There's just women. Only women.
And I love the name.
And I tell you, I have never had such an amazing chill party in my life.
This is amazing.
Yeah.
This is actually a collaboration between me and Dr. Silver, who does the Pandemonium parties.
Okay.
So we are both organizers, and there are some organizers in the scene that are quite competitive. But for me, it's just like we're all the same scene. We're all one. We just want to create something nice for the scene. So for me, I support every party that's out there that has to do something with kinky. I go to those parties. If possible, I buy the ticket even if I'm not regular guest list. Anyways.
Competition is safe and you're all
but
creating
I
this
just
space.
wanna I want the scene to grow. If there's nice things for the scene, I love it. I don't care if it's mine or not. I just love it. So Dr. Silver, he is the same as me. So we collaborate on this one. Lilith is from both of us.
Yeah.
He came up with the concept actually, and I fucking loved it immediately. Like a female-only play party is something that we don't have in Barcelona yet.
I've heard that before. It's really original.
It's great. Yes,
Yeah.
there's only women coming, and I'm telling you, I never had such a relaxed party. I didn't have to kick anyone out. Everyone was so consensual about everything. It was insane.
One of the
And
things that I talk to Dr.
beautiful.
Silva a lot about is that when you cater to the most vulnerable, you cater to everyone.
Yeah.
So when you take care of a party and you take care of women, you take care of trans people,
Yeah.
you always take care of everyone else, because usually these are the people that feel most vulnerable in those spaces.
Yeah.
So I love that. I love that you're creating a safe space for women to exchange and to just be themselves and to just explore themselves. Because there's a lot of also like space for women that are categorized as bi-curious, or maybe don't even know that they're bisexual yet. I think I was in that category for a long time.
Yeah.
I was like, no. It's full bisexual in. Like it is.
It's all
Yeah.
down bisexual.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Space for women's liberation.
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
that is a remarkable thing.
Yeah.
And actually, I thought, probably they're just gonna speak and drink at the bar. No, fuck no. They started playing way earlier than everybody else on those parties. It was amazing. I loved it so much because on my parties, when I see people start having real fun, I'm like, damn, yes.
Nailed
the
it.
right thing.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
Got it.
I have a third party, and that is Unholy. And Unholy is more the techno, the hard techno, dark techno,
Okay.
BDSM kind of thing. So I have like some performers that are doing more like this BDSM shows, but it's in general a relaxed party. So you can also go there as a not so into BDSM yet, let's see, and can be inspired maybe by the performers, can be inspired in general. And it's more of a dark techno vibe.
Nice.
So interesting how you have many different flavors and services and experiences for different people
Yeah.
to go explore, and how you're creating this space of liberation, of expression, of trust, of consent. I'm definitely curious to try one of these and to explore what you're putting into the world. And I want to invite you now to play a game. We're getting to the end of our session today and our conversation. So we're going to play this game, which is a game of numbers. So I want to ask you to give me a number, and then we're going to read what comes out of that number, either a question or something out of it.
Yeah.
Ready? Let's do it.
A number from 1 to 6.
1.
Okay.
1 second. Oh, so best vanilla you've ever had.
Best vanilla I ever had.
Yes.
Oh, I have to say that depends a lot on the dick. Like
Okay.
on the shape of the dick. You will agree me in that one. Like every dick is very different.
Unique, I would say. Yeah.
Unique, yes. And there are some that touch the fucking right spot.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that they match with you also.
Yeah, and then you just need vanilla. You don't need anything else. That thing is topping the right spot.
And there you have it.
There
So
you
for
have
you,
it.
it's not about the best vanilla. It's about like the perfect connection and the perfect match of the dick.
Exactly.
I love it. I think that that's a great way to put it.
That is a bold statement, do you think? Or not so much?
I agree.
Okay, I wouldn't have thought that, but
Well, and it's also about knowing how to use it.
yeah, totally. But
Yeah.
if the shape is right, like if it's really the perfect shape and the perfect size,
For you.
damn,
For
yeah,
you.
for you, because like it is for everyone.
It's a
different.
match.
Like,
Yes, exactly. Thank you so much for coming. I think that this world is a world that sometimes a lot of people have a lot of interest in, curiosity, but don't allow themselves to indulge and in it, to be hedonistic about it in any way. So thank you so much for coming. I do hope that the scene gets the respect that it needs. and that it gets the maturity that it needs also, because there's a lot of market out there. When we talk about business, we're all business women here, so we can all relate to that, how that can also cater to our needs in different ways. And I'm loving that you made a passion that you have into now a new upcoming business. And I see a lot of these businesses coming up in Barcelona, and I can't wait to be a bigger part of it, because I'm investing in it, but no one can know, right? No, just kidding. We'll be seeing and talking more to each other upcoming. So thank you so much for coming. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it's been great and listening to you, and kudos for what you're creating in the world and for being a strong woman, pushing back and standing strong and to bringing this experience to many people, and to also voicing out your expression, your needs, and who you are. Congratulations.
Thanks.
Where can people find you, and how can they know more about your endeavors?
So, of course, you can find me on Elysium Barcelona Instagram.
Yeah.
And you can find me as Myriel Monastic on Instagram, but I'm probably shadow banned, so you have to type in a full name. And yes, 2025 will be really a big year for me, because some new concepts coming up with the club.
Nice.
And also I will have my first fashion show in, like, not my first, but my first as my own brand.
Wow.
Which is not out of fashion school or
What's
anything.
your brand name?
Not yet there. Should have been there since a few months, but not yet there.
Is it related to the kinky scene or not?
100%. It's
Love it.
latex brand. Full latex, and we will present it 2025 on the German Fetish Ball, which is the biggest event of the community in Europe. And I'm super excited about that as well. So you will find about that if you follow me on my account on Instagram.
Perfect.
Wishing you all the best, and can't wait to see that in the world. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, thank you for coming today, and we'll be continuing to have conversations that matters. Thank you so much.
See you next time. Bye.